All right. Thank you. Thank you. All right. All right. Okay, first of all, I want to thank Congress for letting my supporters in here. You guys look great. It reminds me of the Let's Make a Deal set in here. We have a few George Washingtons. Sir, your Burger King crown looks great on you. Very professional. You are a great American. Okay, let's see. I hope that's Charlie Chaplin back there. All right, I see some Confederate flags, and I hope that's a ghost in front here. Oh, look, we have a Batman in the crowd. Hey, Batman, how you doing, Batman? All right. I want to start this speech off by answering a question that everybody has been asking me. Am I an embarrassment to the United States of America? My answer to this question is no, sir. I am an embarrassment to Canada and the United States. Just to give you all some background information on me, I was born in Canada and my parents were in the oil industry. I found it absolutely absurd that Canada let their people buy insurance up there. And I am talking about to anybody. Blue-collar workers whose employers do not offer insurance, people who were fired or let go from their jobs can buy insurance. And get this, even people with pre-existing conditions can buy health insurance. I'm not making this up. Their country's motto should be, all people are created equally, or something like that. Am I right? I mean, that's ridiculous. Their insurance companies cannot even drop them if a serious medical situation comes up. That, my friends, is socialism at its best. I wanted to fight for these Canadians. It was just sickening to me that everyone was able to buy insurance. Before I ran for the U.S. Senate, I considered running for a government position in Canada to end that poppycock. They called me insane. I used to bring a group of colorful people like yourselves to protest their meetings. I have learned that nothing is more frightening to Canadian policymakers than a group of people dressed up like George Washingtons, Native Indians, and Confederate soldiers beating drums and heckling their meetings. They kicked me out of that country so fast, and they said, Ted, you will never make it in politics. Well, look at me now, Canada. My oil background got me elected to the Texas Senate in my freshman year. Was pretty good. During my first year, I have literally shut the government down for 16 days, which cost the American taxpayers $24 billion. And it gets better. I almost forced the U.S. to default on its debt payments for the first time in history. How many people can put that on their resume? Thank you. A U.S. default would have been a bloody mess that all people would have had to pay for. Higher mortgage rates, higher taxes, no government to enforce regulations, rampant inflation, the breaking apart of the American family. A packaged recession delivered by Ted Cruz. Sign here. You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Only the greats could change the government in a major way. Abraham Lincoln, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, John F. Kennedy, Ted Cruz. I could just imagine Franklin Delano Roosevelt reading Green Eggs and Ham on the floor. I can assure you, our country's founders are looking down at me right now and thanking me for almost wrecking the U.S. economy. Thank you. It's a shame that Congress gave in. I admit, we lost the battle, but the war is far from over. Look at me now, Canada. I am an American hero. During the government shutdown that I caused, some national parks were shut down. Some of them were war memorial parks, and it was completely offensive to veterans to be locked out of such a thing. That's until Ted Cruz got involved. I somehow had the cojones to fly down there to where all the commotion was. And when I got there, I was like, what? What's going on here? I was able to convince my supporters at that rally that I had no idea what was going on. And I just aimlessly pointed the finger at Obama. How dare he do this? And although I was able to fool my supporters, I was not able to fool those veterans. A lot of the veterans were asking very good questions. They asked things like, why were they surrounded by people dressed as George Washington? Who the hell was I? And why was I running around with a bullhorn standing in their way? What are all these Confederate flags doing here? Why aren't any of these people working? Most of them politely asked me to shut up and let me into the memorial. One question I got was about why I had a permanent devilish smirk on my face. All I can say about that last inquiry is that I was not blessed with a poker face. These veterans are smart people and hard to fool, but that's when Ted Cruz did the unthinkable. After getting permission from park authorities, I stormed the national park with the help of the veterans. I am as red, white, and blue as you can get. Teachers, police officers, firefighters, war veterans, Ted Cruz. Thank you. Even though I lost the war, I fought a good battle. There is nothing I wouldn't do to stop this poppycock of letting every American buy health insurance. Let me ask you a question. How is a competitive market for insurance that allows all people to buy in a good thing for the country? And get this, it's budget neutral. And it was democratically passed by both the House and Senate and democratically signed into law. Those nutjobs in Washington thought I was going to let democracy and fiscal responsibility stand in the way of my absolute mayhem? If Congress let me have my way, the economy would have been on cruise control. That's my new campaign slogan. Put your trust in cruise control. I think all of you know my intentions. Other than the lucrative book deals, the lucrative speeches, and the other profitable ventures that make my wallet yell, yeehaw! I was planning on running for the President of the United States. Here's what you have to look forward to with a Ted Cruz victory. I will guide all Americans into outer space, where you will float aimlessly and randomly into orbit. There will be George Washingtons, tea bags, and Batmans floating all around you to protect you, while all of you are safely floating in outer space. I will set the country on fire. Just one state at a time, there will be 4 strategically set initial fire points based on topography and natural weather patterns. Here's my logic. If we set the country on fire and sink it to the bottom of the ocean, there will be no debts we will have to pay. As a person with a law degree, I know if we just stop paying our debts, our assets could be seized, and it would allow our debt holders to pick away at everything we own, like vultures. If we just burn it down completely, what are they going to do? I think outside the box. Setting the country on fire and letting it sink to the bottom of the ocean will be my main message during my campaign. I will try to get Congress to start considering such a bill as soon as possible. This is Cruise Control. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.